We are going to code some Purescript today and see some of the new features in the plugin. But before that, I want to just show you that there's a Discord server for Purescript with a lot of good topics, and you can get some help from code and tools and languages and stuff. And there's a editor channel where you can see that I post updates and people ask questions. And it's not for specifically the Purescript plugin, but it's for all the different editor toolings. So it's a good place to see what new versions and get them before they're released in the marketplace, and get an understanding for what they include, since we don't have a changelog or something like that. Today, we're going to take a look at this piece of code in front of us, which is not the plugin itself, but it is used by the plugin. The code that is in this file takes in all the packages in the package set, so all the published packages, and goes through them and index them and creates a huge JSON file. And this JSON file is then copied into the plugin. And what we use it for in the plugin is that when you autocomplete on something that doesn't exist in your project, that it's not found, or if you hit the autocomplete twice, you get a list of suggestions for what packet to install. And this information is from this JSON file. So if it finds it in this JSON file, it will be able to show an install helper. So as an example, we can do, we have this run, let's, can I scroll down further? Run in body, for example. So we can see here that it's from the module here and from the package here. But it have evolved quite naturally, and it has no test. It's just the only test there is checking, did the output file change as expected. So I guess it has one test. It has one big approval test, but otherwise it doesn't. And my first step here is to just clean it up, make it a little bit more easy to understand what it's doing, so that we can add a feature. And maybe you don't add a feature today in this video. I'm just cleaning up. So if we hit F2, we can see that there's some warnings that are more important than others. In the top right here, we can see that these 3 warnings are here, and then there's 2 other warnings that are less important. And if I hit Alt-Enter, we can see that it's missing a type declaration. We can also see that when we go here, we get a bigger information, like more information, which is from the compiler server, which we can see is running in the bottom right here. So Alt-Enter, that looks good. The integration with the server is slow enough that it's good to wait a bit before you take the next one. Otherwise, it will do the changes in a old version of the document, which means that the lines will not be injected where it should be. That's one of the issues we have here with using the server, because the round trip time, even though it's local, do impact how fast you can do stuff. So the other things here is that we can see here that there's a inspection that check for unnecessary parentheses, and it's always good to recheck that what it suggests is correct. But here we can see, because I mean, like, it's humans who build the software, and we can't think about all the cases. Hopefully over time it will be so reliable that you can just accept them as they are. But I suggest to try to understand, is it really doing what you think it is? Anyway, so here we have a call, and calls always have a higher priority, a stronger binding force than operators. So this is definitely correct. And if we go again, we have the same here, we have an operator, but it's the only thing that's happening in this expression here because it's in the if test place, like where you test if you're going to do the then or else. So I'm just going to accept this, and that was all of them. So we can do fix issues in file with quick fixes. So it says like this commit will fix issues in the file with quick fixes. Awesome. So if we go to the main file here, sorry, the main function, we can see that it's quite nested and it's quite long, and we have some for loops here. We have this par traverse. So I'm just gonna take this, and it takes the packet's name, and we can see that what it pures is a singleton package name and then all the modules within. So I'm gonna extract this. We're gonna take the whole lambda, and it's gonna give it the name, which is just expert, which is not so helpful. So let's call this parse, or maybe index is better. Index package there. And I go to that now, and we have the same missing type declaration. So let's add that. And then we have this one. Let's go from here. So here you can see that we can expand a bit. So let's expand there, and we do index module. And let's do some formatting, which works as long as you have the formatting installed. We use parse tidy. And we have the same problem here. So let's extract long function into smaller ones. And what I'm thinking here is um, adding some more information. Why did we do this? Well, we did it because it was a loop, extracting loop uh, body. Um, to reduce scope. It's a specific scope. I don't remember now what it's called. Extracting something load scope. Well, it's good enough. Um, it bugs me that I don't remember what it's called. Um, the reason we want to do this is so that only the things that we're interested in are in scope. It makes it easier for us people to read it, but it also can improve performance in some languages. In this case, I don't think it actually does. Um, so we can see here that when we index package, we are warning that we're reading this package. It's just a way to write to the console in standard error instead of standard out, because we're using the standard out for actually data in this case. We find all files in the package directory here, and we also then take those files and part traverse them to index them as modules. Um, so I don't know, maybe this should be find all modules instead of all files. I'm not sure. Yeah, let's rename find all modules. Rename to reflect usage. And here we have JSON. So what is it that we are doing? It's just called to.json. Let's change it to module to JSON. Let's make it a little bit more correct. So improved naming here. So it's the name of the module and then extract exports. So extract exports is one more of those really, really long and deeply nested ones. So this is the meat of the operation. So maybe we can extract that. So this one asks if there is an explicit exports. If it's empty, like if there's no explicit export, it does this. Otherwise, it indexes the export list. So let's start by extracting. I think this is the interesting part. If we select it, we can see that this is the thing. And I don't know if this works with the underscore variable. Maybe we should make it explicit. No, let's see if it works first. Um, how can it find 14 of it? 17. There must be something wrong about that. So, of course, it will work because it will use that underscore as a parameter in the expression as well. So index declaration, I think, is what we're doing here. And now we can put all these on one line and be quite confident that this works as expected. What was the rollback changes? So we have an error here. Like this is what type of error? I don't know what we have here. If we go back, I generally try to not have more complicated types than I need. So try to find the most simple type. But I can see here that we already have just a free variable here, free type variable. But we can at least rename it to PE. I think rename here does not work. Let's see. No, but we can do select similar and just edit it. So the next thing I would like to do here is take this horrible mess. From foldable members. So we get an array here and then we traverse the things here. So if I go to this one, we can see that it's non-empty array, right? So that what members are. And it's number of label. So if we extract this part, let's first replace this with this I think is correct. I need to run the code to see that this do the same thing, I think. So I'm not. So now we only map over once, but we compose this function first. So let's go to the terminal, have a script here called generate. I will spew out some error messages from Git, and that's just because it tried to fetch all the packages first before it does anything. But if it already exists, it complains that it's already there, which is what I want. So it did change this one. Oh, that's the one. It didn't change that one. That's good. Okay. So commit. So I'm unsure what I should name this because we already have this one that takes just the name and creates the object. So maybe it should also be called index, but instead of index declaration, it's a member. So let's do index. Oh, it took a little bit too much. Let's see if I can do. Okay. That. Index member. So currently, there's no way to extract part of a operator expression, like an expression with operators, if you only want to have one of it, even though you can just select it because the selection is smarter than the extractor. Like if I go here, it only selects like parts of it. But you can select and then add parentheses, and then it becomes smarter because a parentheses is its own node in the syntax tree. And then we can do that. We can probably do a little bit simplification here. Let's see what the formatter says after we have done so. That might be a little bit too long for me. Okay. So this should be called class member, right? Index class member. And this one should then be index data constructor. Index data constructor. Something went wrong here. That's interesting. I've not seen that before. So let's undo that. So currently we don't have support for extracting things that unpack like this. So I don't really know what to do about that, actually. Let's keep it and have that as one of the goals to improve the plugin for. That's fantastic. In a bad way. Let's figure out what this was again. Can't really see because the sun is shining so hard on my screen. Let's go. It should be renamed again. Index class member. And if I go to this declaration, I can go and see that this is a label of type E. So for all E, it's not agreeing here. Could not match type kind. Let's go back and see what I missed. Oh, it's because it's not in scope. There, now it's in scope, but everything is. So if I understood correctly, what it doesn't like here is that we have two types imported. So if I undo that import, we call it cst.type. And now it's happy. I want to also see what did it do. Okay. Yeah, I think it did correct. We can also optimize imports. That's great. I think I'm happy with this change. Extract function to index class member. And I think that will be a nice short video seeing me struggle or not struggle with fixing and improving some code. And that's everything then. Have a nice day.